So let's get you home before it gets darker. Holy frick, it's rain. I have to call my faction. Hey, this is Chris. Hopefully everyone is having an awesome day. And welcome to part 2 of my showcase on the Mana and Artifice mod for 1.16.5. And if you want to check out part 1, it should be in the description below or on the top right hand corner. So let's get started with the basics of runesmithing. And after this section, you will be able to make a bunch of magical items that will allow you to have some really powerful abilities, and some of them are just pretty fun in general to mess around with. But anyway, I'm just gonna go into my Codex Arcana, and I'm gonna go to this runesmithing section where I will explain everything that I'm about to cover. But since I'm gonna cover it, this book is just absolutely useless. It's absolute trash. And now let's just continue on. So now let's start off with superheating some ingots. So we're gonna grab this Vintium ingot right here, and we're gonna grab this purified Vintium ingot right here. And in case you're wondering, you just make it exactly like the Vintium ingot, except you just use some purified Vintium dust. And now we're just gonna grab this on fire grown plate because we will need this later. So now let's superheat all of this. So we're gonna make them molten, and they're gonna burn our hands once we grab it. And in case you were wondering, this rune forge is gonna be covered later, so don't worry about it. And now we're gonna burn our hands by grabbing this superheated Vintium ingot. And now we're just gonna place the purified one so you guys can see that's exactly the same process. So it's just gonna superheat, it's gonna be molten, and we're just gonna grab it like a maniac. So then we're just gonna hold on to the superheated ingots, and we're gonna move on to the unfired rune plate, because this will give you a rune plate which we will use to start rune scribing. And I'm not gonna spoil too much, so the recipe for this is just 4 clay balls and 1 glyph of any type. And to make a glyph, you just need 1 die and 1 blank glyph, and this blank glyph is just made with 5 stone related blocks. And now we're just gonna stick it in here, and it's gonna slowly start getting molten, and now it's golden, and we can take it to the rune scribing table. But there's still 2 things that we need to cover. So we need the hammer for this, and we need the chisel. So the way you craft the hammer is with 3 Vintium ingots and 2 sticks, and the way you craft each chisel is with 1 Vintium ingot and 2 sticks. And there's one last thing before we start rune scribing, and it is the rune scribing recipe. So right now it's absolutely useless, but it does have a few uses, so that's why I'm going to show it to you. But later on, it will be extremely helpful, since it will allow you to do a few things with your constructs, which are basically robots, and I'm going to explain them later on in the showcase. So let's go back to the rune scribing recipe. So you obtain this by going to Ritualist Villager's home and stealing absolutely everything. Or you can just trade with him, and there's also the option to craft this. And in case you were wondering who the Ritualist Villager is, go watch part 1 or else. Actually, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just kidding. And by the way, this is the recipe for rune scribing table. So the way you craft it is with 1 bow, 1 purified Vintium dust, 1 wizard's chalk, 3 stones, and 2 planks of any type. And sorry about my voice, my throat is not doing too well. So we're just gonna place the rune scribing recipe in here, and you'll see that the pattern is here. So you may be wondering why I called it useless, and that's because this is in the Codex Arcana. So we're just gonna go in here to runesmithing, and we're just gonna go all the way here to the back, and here we have the metal ritual rune. So we're just gonna go in here, and you can see the recipe. It's right here, and you can see the pattern for yourself. And I think this is much better than just searching for rune scribing recipes. And now let's actually install everything. So here we have our chisel, so we can start chiseling, and here we have our hammer, so we can smack the chisel with all of might. And then we're just gonna place the rune pattern in here, and now you can start just using it. So we're just gonna left click, and we're just gonna chisel it. And yes, there's no happy little mistakes, there's only permanent mistakes. So this is why I'm so nervous. I've failed this so many times before. So let's keep doing this, and hopefully we got it. So 1 more, and here we finally have it. We finally made it. Yes, I think this is one of the few times where I've done it in 1 go. And now let's take our hammer, because we need it for the next section. So here we have the runic anvil, and the way you craft this is with 2 chalks, 1 anvil, 1 barrel, and 2 purified Vintium dusts. And we're just gonna place this, and yes, it's gonna make metal noises, even though the barrel's made of wood. And now let's actually use this. And you know what? I'm gonna use it the wrong way, just so you guys know what not to do. So you have to actually place this in the correct order. So we're just gonna place the ingot right there. Gonna place the ritual rune right here, and we're just gonna smash it, and you're gonna see that everything starts flying. So this is why you need to make sure it's in the right order. So we're just gonna place the rune pattern first, and then the bit on top, and now you'll see this awesome pattern rotating around it. And that means that now once you smack it, you can just insert it in here, and it's gonna start getting stabbed. And just use those big muscular arms. Yes, your arms are really big in Minecraft, so this is why you can do this so easily. And now we have what we wanted. We have the ritual metal rune. And yes, I'm going to show them in a few seconds. So I'm going to first show you something else before we move on. And oh yeah, you do have some durability on this, so you can just keep using it for a while until it breaks. So now let me show you how to make some rune scribing recipes. And I'm going to show them because yes, you will need them later on in the showcase. So let's just create one. So we're just going to grab our rune right here. We're going to place a piece of paper on top. And yes, do not double click by accident, and you'll see that it's active. So this means that now we can grab this piece of charcoal and then smash it straight into it. And now you will see that I have a rune scribing recipe. And oh yeah, I'm going to show you how to use the ritual runes because I haven't really explained that at all. So here we have a bunch of metal ritual runes, and I'm just going to right click on the ground with them, and you can see they work exactly like the normal chalk, except they're permanent and they're much nicer looking. Just look at this. This is absolutely pathetic. This is absolute trash. Well, at least you don't have to clean it up because with this one, since it's permanent, you just have to pick up one by one. But I'm just going to start a ritual so you guys can see that this works exactly the same. So we're just going to do this. We're going to wait for this, and I'm going to be right back. So this thing is about to eat itself into the sky. It's gonna become daytime, and you can see these are still here. So this is so epic, especially for rituals that you might repeat, like the ritual of Aurora. So now that you know the basics of runesmithing, I'm gonna teach you a little bit about artifacts. And yes, I do know that I've taught you about artifacts before, but this time it's related to runesmithing, so I can still show you. And we're gonna craft this mundane ring right here. And yes, I know it's probably mundane, but you know what? Who cares about pronunciations? And the way you make it is just by making a mundane ring pattern. And yeah, you already know the process, so we're just gonna make one right now. And we're gonna grab it. And here we have the mundane ring. And you may be wondering, why do you need the mundane ring? And it's because you actually need to craft something over here, which is called the rings of breaking. And yes, I'm gonna teach you so you don't actually need to do this. But we're just gonna go over here to Rings of Breaking, and there are two, and these will enhance your ability to use the break spell, so it is gonna make it a lot stronger. And there are two versions. So there's the lesser, which is the more pathetic version, and there's the greater version, which I'm gonna show you because it's gonna require a mote of earth, and I'm gonna teach you how to make some motes. So before we actually start this ritual, here's where you will find this. So you'll go to rituals, and you'll go to motes, and here I'll tell you about every single mote. So we're gonna craft this one right here, which is the earth one, and let me find it really quick. So it's ritual of the ancient stone. So yep, they're self-explanatory. So we're just gonna clip that onto there, and you can see that this is how it's supposed to look like. So it's supposed to look like an hourglass without the top on, and I'm just gonna get rid of it right now. So let's just start this, and it's gonna start an earthquake, and just look at the ground shaking. It just looks so awesome, and we have the glowing orbs, and yeah, it just looks so great. And now we just have to draw a bunch of patterns, and yeah, I do love how the blocks just rotate, but you know what, I've already shown you rituals, so I don't know why I'm fanboying over it. Just one more shape left, and I've noticed it does sound like an earthquake too. And now we finally have our mote of earth, and we can finally make the rings. And yes, I'm gonna actually show you how to make the ring because yeah, I kind of forgot to show you a few things about the Manaweaving altar in part 1. I don't know why I kind of forgot. I always forget things. So let me show you what I was talking about. So first thing I'm gonna do is put the Codex Arcana in here by accident. And yes, this has actually happened to me plenty of times. I'm so embarrassed about it. But anyway, in case you do this or another mistake, you just want to right click with an empty hand, and you should be able to grab it back. And you can do that for as many ingredients as you want, but you will always have to have an empty hand for each one of them. And second thing I want to show you, So if you accidentally draw the wrong shape, you can always delete it by just right-clicking on the Manaweaving altar, and it should be reset back to normal. And you know what? Let me actually finish this since I've already started it. So I'm gonna draw all of the shapes, and I'm gonna actually craft the greater ring. So yep, now it doesn't actually want to because it's missing this right here, which is the lesser ring, and now it's gonna merge and it's gonna give us the greater ring. And yes, I'm gonna show you how to use this in a bit, and before we do that, I'm gonna actually destroy this one because it's more pathetic twin. And you know what, I really mean it, I'm gonna actually burn it. So let's destroy it, and now its twin brother is dead. So it's finally time for me to show you what this ring does. And yes, I know I've been taking too long, but I'm gonna show you one last thing. And oh, I did not expect to actually do that. So I'm just gonna go into the Codex Arcana, and that was the break spell, which is supposed to just break blocks. And later on, you will be able to increase the magnitude instead of just needing these rings. But for now, I'm just gonna show you the ring since this is for early on in the mod, and the magnitude is for later on. So let's actually use this. So you can see that it does break blocks. So we're just going to shoot it at this stone. It's going to give us cobblestone. We're going to shoot it at the iron ore. It's going to give us iron ore, obviously. And then it won't break the inner blocks because they're too strong for us. So that means that we have to wear the ring for this to actually work. So we're just going to click over here. We're going to insert the ring by just shift right clicking, and now we have the ring, so we can finally just shoot the spell without any limit. So let's just keep shooting, and you can see I just got some Jamarite, which I explained earlier on. We got diamond, and then we're just gonna shoot this obsidian, and it's just gonna break instantly, and there's basically no limit. The only limit is your mana, so we're gonna keep shooting, and this is just so efficient. It's just so flipping awesome. And there's one last important thing about artifacts, and that is certain artifacts will require charging right after you craft them, and they will also have to be recharged regularly. So here we have an Ender Guard amulet, and don't worry, I'm gonna show it to you later on. But you'll notice that there's a black bar down here, and that means that it is completely drained of energy, and it's probably pretty obvious for some of you because it's like the durability bar. But there's one other way to tell, and that is in your mana bar. So you'll notice that there's a tiny drop or lightning symbol on it, and that means that it has also run out of energy. So we're just gonna stick it in here so you guys can see that still shows it to you. So it's pretty helpful just in case you have many of them and you probably don't want to check regularly. And now I'm gonna show you how to charge them. So the way you charge some artifacts is just by right clicking, and it should start draining your mana, and you'll notice that the lightning drop is gone because we've already charged it. And there are multiple ways to charge this, so we're gonna go to Artifice, and here is the recharging item section, and there's many ways, but I'm just gonna show you one more way, and that is by placing a mana crystal right here, right next to pedestal. And now we're just gonna install the Ender Card amulet, and just look at the lightning flowing into it. All of the energy is going in here, and it is much faster than your mana bar. And now, in case you were wondering what this does, I'm just gonna put it on, and now we're gonna spawn a creeper. He's gonna come towards us, try to explode, but he's gonna teleport away last minute. And you gotta be kidding me, that was the worst spot for it to teleport to. But you know what, I can clean this up. So now I'm gonna teach you about rune auras, which can be applied to your armors, and it can give you some cool abilities like super speed and super jump. And there's also the enchantments, and it's just not Minecraft enchantments, it's also enchantments that are added from this mod, and they're pretty cool too. So now we're just gonna start by opening the Codex Arcana, and here's everything you need to know. So we're gonna go to enchantments, and here we have the auras. So here we're gonna choose the aura of jumping because I want to jump like Hulk. And here is the recipe, so you probably already know how this works, and you will need a rune aura, and you probably already know that from the runesmithing section. And there's one thing you should know about the auras, and that is you can only apply one to one piece of armor, and you can't apply more than that, but you can apply it to different pieces of armors, so you can get all of these different abilities. And you also have to be aware that some of these can only be applied to one specific armor piece, like the jumping one can only be applied to the chest plate. Now let's actually start doing this. So here we have a chest plate, and oh yeah, you can put it on enchantments so you already have. So here we have protection, and we're just gonna put it right here on the runic anvil. We're gonna put this leaps and bounds on it, and now we're gonna grab our hammer, which I totally forgot, and we're gonna smack it, and it should install it immediately. So let's keep installing it, and now we will grab it eventually. So here we go. So we now have everything we need. So we have the aura of leaps and bounds. And now let's actually start jumping. So now I officially have it on. And here we go. So I am jumping like a maniac. And I don't know what happened earlier, but just look at this. This is so flipping awesome. And there's one more thing you should know. And that is sometimes you can find these in enchantment books. So that means that you can grab it at any level as long as you find it on the chest. And now we're just going to install an anvil, and this is installed normally. So we're just gonna go into the anvil. We're just gonna put our enchantment book, and here we go. So you don't need the runic anvil for absolutely everything. And now I'm gonna wear this, and in case you were wondering, Cloud Step allows you to just start jumping into the air multiple times. And oh yeah, I kind of forgot to mention this, but this is an enchantment and it's not actually an aura. So I'm just gonna go over here to just test it, and I'm just gonna jump onto this building right here, and you can see that allows you to jump multiple times. And I'm just gonna jump up here, and let's try to land without trying to kill ourselves. Alright, yes, it is really easy to kill yourself doing this, but I'm just gonna keep climbing and climbing, and I'm just gonna climb all the way to the roof, and you can see that I've made it to the top. And isn't this amazing? And oh yeah, it does use a little bit of your mana, and it constantly gives it a seizure, so to be aware of that. And there's one more thing you should know about rune auras, and that is you can share them with others. So that means that I can share it with my brother Jonathan. And yes, he hasn't been on the channel for a while, but now here he is, and he's just gonna jump. So Jonathan, just jump, and you can see that he can jump like a maniac too. But unfortunately, you can't share enchantments, so that means he can't jump multiple times like I can. And one more thing, it does drain your mana like crazy, so do be careful around other players. And there is certain artifacts that will allow you to not share absolutely any of your powers with others. Now, I'm going to show you a few other things you can do with the runic anvil, and one of them includes upgrading your practitioner's pouch. So yes, you can upgrade your practitioner's pouch, and you will need a sorcerer's sewing set so you can accomplish this. So the way you craft it is with one Vintium needle, which is Runesmithing, and you already know the process, so I don't need to teach you that. And then you just need one infused thread, and I have no idea how they got the thread through the needle, but you will need to do this. And the way you craft an infused thread is with one infused silk and one Vintium dust and the Manaweaving altar. And the way you craft an infused silk is with one glue of any type, one string, and one mystic focus. And now we're just gonna grab it out of here. And next we're gonna grab our glyph right here, and I'm gonna show you what this does. So we're gonna go into the Codex Arcana, we're gonna go to rituals, and here you'll see all of the upgrades. So here we have the Practitioner's Pouch patch, and all of these are patches, and you will have more of them once you reach the higher tiers. But we're just gonna go to this one right here, which is the glyph one, and here's the crafting recipe. So I'm not gonna show it too much because you have a Codex Arcana too. So let's just go straight into this. And oh yeah, let's grab some of these glyphs because this will be helpful. And now let's go to the runic anvil. So here we are at the runic anvil, and we're gonna place our Practitioner's pouch on top. We're gonna place our glyph on top, and now we're just gonna sew it by re-clicking with the sorcerer's sewing set, and you will sew like a god. Just look at how fast that was. So let's just grab this, and we're gonna go over here, and we're just gonna hit Control, right click, and here we have the upgrade section. So you will notice that this is no longer blank, and let me just show you how the original one looks like. So the thing, now we're just gonna go to the upgraded one, and here we have the glyph section. So we're just gonna left click, and we're just gonna open this menu right here, and here you can store all of your glyphs. So now you have a storage location because you can put it right here, but this is just an extra location. And since we are on the topic of upgrades, let me show you one last upgrade. I'm gonna grab this one right here, which is the death module. And yes, I'm sorry if I call it module. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave collection behind, so poor collection is not gonna be covered this section. So So now we're just gonna grab the Practitioner's pouch. We're gonna install the upgrade like always. And now we're gonna grab our new upgraded pouch. And what this does is it allows you to store multiple stacks of everything. So it is pretty insane. And let me just clear everything out. So let me just throw away this one. And we're just gonna grab some Vintium dust so I can show you. So now we're just gonna control, right click, open it. And here you'll see that the upgrade has been installed. So this means that now we can just grab multiple stacks and keep stacking over and over and over. And unfortunately, it won't stack anymore unless you upgrade it to the second one, which you will unlock later. And you can do the exact same thing with glyphs or any other thing you can put in here. And I think it doesn't work with chalk, so let's just try this. We're gonna grab our chalk. We're gonna try to store multiple chalks. And will this work? So unfortunately, I don't think it can stack. So yep, you're pretty much doomed when it comes to chalk. You know what? I've decided to show you the collection patch, even though I said I wasn't gonna use it earlier. So here we have it installed. We're gonna have a piece of Valium in here. And now we're just gonna throw some Valium all over the place. So let's litter across the entire place. And now let's grab all of these, so we're just gonna collect them all. And you can see it's not in my inventory. It's actually inside my Practitioner's pouch. I'm now gonna show you an armor set that you can get early on in this mod. And it is the Mage armor set. And what makes this special is it can use your mana to regenerate. So yes, it can repair itself. And you can also use the Runic Anvil if you completely break. So yes, you can repair it as many times as you want. And they'll be with you forever. And there's also another thing you should know, and it is that this is in the Artifice section under Mage armor, and here is all of the recipes and all of the other things you should know about the armor. Now let's just use it anyway, and I have Jonathan over there who's gonna beat me up once it's time. So Jonathan, please don't beat me up yet. So I'm just gonna spawn a zombie right here, and he's gonna start attacking me, and my armor's gonna slowly start dying. But you'll eventually see that my mana crystal is being wasted. So yes, all of its energy is being sucked out. So can repair the armor, and Jonathan, just kill the zombie, please. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen to me eventually. And here we go. So the crystal has been drained, and now my mana is being drained, so I can repair the armor. And I'm just gonna wait a few seconds. So there we go. It is slowly being repaired, and now I'm gonna get Jonathan to destroy it completely once it's done. So the armor has been completely repaired. So Jonathan, please don't destroy me right now. Yeah, that's what happens when you use an overpowered sword and your brother has access to it. So anyway, you'll see that the entire armor set is broken. And I just realized this. I never knew that it actually showed on your body. It's completely broken. So let's grab one of the armor pieces. So we're gonna grab our broken robes. We're gonna stick it in here, and you're gonna see that's completely destroyed. Jonathan, you're a maniac. Anyway, we're just gonna place this right here. It is some infused silk, so we're just gonna place it on top. We're gonna use our sorceress sewing set, and now it has been completely destroyed and restored. Why did I say destroyed? It's completely restored. And there's one more thing you can do with this, so let me just repair the entire armor set. So what I was going to show you is that you can customize your armor. So yes, you can color it in. Jonathan, place down the crafting table, please. So here we have a crafting table. Jonathan took you long enough. So now I'm just gonna enter the table, and here we're just gonna insert some dye, and I'm gonna insert a piece of my armor. So here we have the mage hood, and now it's gonna be red. And we can also take it one step further and add another dye and make it this color. So yes, now this is actually one of my favorite colors. And you can also have both at the same time, and it will also dye it that color. So let's do it for all of the pieces right here. And now they have all been dyed red. And just look at this. It looks so flipping awesome. Bathe in the beauty that is this color. It's just so awesome. I love it. And for the final part of the Runesmithing section, I'm going to teach you how to use the runes of markings, because these are going to be really important later on. And for that, I'm going to show you a ritual that requires 2 of them. And in case you were wondering, the ritual is the ritual of the Flatlands. Why did I almost say fart? But anyway, you will need a book of the shifting lands, and here I'll just show you that you need the runes of markings, and you already know the drill. So now I'm going to teach you how to use these runes by going over here and actually using them. So we're just gonna go to the screen block right here. We're gonna right click and you're gonna see a green square inside of the block, and there will be this rod over here, and it is gonna be a little bit important later on, but I'm just gonna show you this. So we're just gonna right click and it has been placed up here. Yeah, I'm gonna explain it later on because I'm gonna get a little bit confused if I keep trying. And now let's mark it up here. And yes, I have placed markers on where to actually place this, and you'll see that they are both glowing with enchantment juice. I don't know what to call enchantment shine. So there we go. We're just gonna place this in our offhand. We're gonna have this ritual rune right here, the rune of marking, and you'll see that there's a square selected, and all of this will get flattened because, yep, it is the ritual of the Flatlands, so that's why it's gonna flatten it. And now let's actually use these. So we're just gonna install them into the ritual. And yes, please don't shift right click, or else you're gonna mark this instead of just putting it in. And yeah, I have to redo it. So let's do this properly this time. So we're just gonna click on here, and we're gonna click on here with this wood, and now we have both of them installed. And let's just start the ritual. And I'm just gonna skip ahead because you probably have already seen the rituals, and I'm just gonna be right back. So the ritual is starting, and we're gonna get our book back, and you're gonna see that there's a bunch of particles going around, and they're gonna go to the location where I marked for destruction. So they're gonna take a while, and sorry if I sound pretty weird. My throat is actually burning. I don't know why. I'm not sick or anything. Yeah, I have no idea. But anyway, I'm just gonna stop talking about my personal issues, and I'm gonna follow the particles. So you're gonna go over here, and now they're gonna start digging into the ground. So let's just wait, and you will hear that they'll start destroying the ground. And just look at it work. It's just so efficient at removing an entire piece of land. And now I'm just gonna do a time lapse or something so you guys can see how this works. And yeah, I can't talk anymore, so let me shut up. So it looks like the ritual is finally over, and just look at the amount of things that just appeared. And yes, I'm not lagging anymore because of my new PC, but I'm just gonna try to pick up some of it, and you'll see that yeah, it does have some trouble with some gravel. And yes, it does drop a ton of experience. It drops absolutely everything, so this is probably the best way to go mining, and I regret going and picking all of these things up, but you know what, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna continue on to the next section. So now I'll be teaching you everything you should know about the factions, and this may be one of my favorite parts of this mod, so I'm so excited. So I'm just gonna go here into the Oculus, and you'll see that we've basically completed all of this, but the last part we need to follow is this right here, which is doing a ritual to join a faction. And all of the factions are gonna be listed over here in basics and then factions, and here I'll tell you all of the information you should know, and they'll show you the Demons of the Nether, the Fairy Court, and the Ancient Council of Wizards. And there's one more that hasn't appeared here, and that is called the Legion of the Undead. And yes, I'm gonna show you a little bit more about them later on, but now let's actually start doing a ritual to join one of these factions. And the faction I'm gonna go for is the Ancient Council of Wizards. And by the way, once you join a faction, you can't leave it, so your decision is permanent. And also the other factions will hate you and will try to destroy you the second they see you. And yeah, I don't know why they hate you so much. But now let's do a ritual of the Ancient Council, and you already know where the ritual should be, so I'm just gonna start this ritual right here by just putting the last piece. And now let's start this, and I'm just gonna draw the patterns until the real one starts. And yes, the real one is extremely epic, so this should be the last shape, and the ritual should begin. So here we go, the ritual has begun, and just look at the console coming out of the ground. It is so epic. And then they're gonna start singing in a holy voice, and then they're gonna just lift me into the air, and they make a pretty good choir, don't they? And now they're gonna lift me with their magic powers, and they're gonna infuse me with their power, and just I can't get over how epic this looks. And now they're injecting me with magic juice, and the magic juice is gonna flow through my blood. And they're almost done, so I'm gonna keep talking. And I really love this. And now I'm gonna read this. So you feel the presence of hundreds of wizards, current and past. Their knowledge and power shared with you. You have allied yourself with the console of the ancients. And yes, we have made it to tier 3. So now I'm gonna go to the Oculus because I want to show you something. And that is, yeah, obviously you're at tier 3, so you have to complete a bunch of new tasks. And I did not know that I summoned the Wither. I don't remember summoning a Wither. But you know what? It doesn't matter. This thing is insane. And here, you'll notice that says that my faction is the Console of the Ancients. Yeah, it's just as simple. It doesn't tell the name or anything. And here in the sorcery section, you're going to see that the symbols are everywhere and not on the spells that are appear, because those are the least advanced spells. Only the tier 3 and above will have faction symbols. So here's the Council of the Ancients, the Fairy Court, and the other factions, the Legion of the Undead. And here are the demons. So yeah, only at tier 4 do you get the demon stuff. And yeah, I think there's also another section. So some of these are only specific to a specific faction. So you can see Manaweaving, crafting. There's a bunch of ones that are only for a specific faction. And now let's actually cover all of the faction structures. And I'm gonna fight every single faction mob. And yes, some of them are really powerful. So this is gonna be fun. So here we have our first faction structure. And this is the console library. And it's the headquarters for the ancient Council of Wizards. And just look at how cool this tower looks. It looks so magical. It looks like wizardy architecture. And yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but just look at it. Just looks so nice. And now we're just gonna walk straight in here. And you gotta be kidding me, tree. Next time you get in my way, I'll destroy you completely. Alright, so let's just walk in here. And you'll notice that there's a spawner back there. But since it's too bright in here, they're not gonna spawn in. But they will spawn in around the tower. So yeah, you better be careful. And here we have our first chest. So we just have a mysterious spell. We have some other magical items like the minor mana potion, Vintium dust. And here we have another chest, and it's exactly the same thing. We have some reinforced legs in here for the constructs. And now we're just gonna walk up here. And yes, there's a bunch of books because this is obviously a library. And now let's climb through the back. And yes, it's easy to get lost here like I just did right now. And I'm just gonna walk into this room. And you'll see that there's another chest over here. There's open windows for the books for some reason. There's a fire in here. And I'm just gonna keep climbing. And yes, I have officially gotten lost. So, yeah, I haven't gotten lost. I'm just pretending to be lost. Why would I be lost if I've been through here so many times? And here we have another spawner, and you can see this guy spinning, and hopefully he's not too dizzy once he comes out of there. And next we have this room right here, which has a chest in it, and it does have some pretty good things in it. And now we have made it to the rooftop, and there's really not much up here. It's pretty boring. So I have made it nighttime so they can start spawning in, and I'm just gonna wait. And here we have our first guy that is gonna beat me up, and that is the Spellbreaker, and he's gonna destroy me the second I switch factions. Since I'm neutral in this world, he's not gonna attack me. And I think in the other world, he won't attack me because I'm in the same faction. And I'm gonna change to Fairy Court. Holy frick! He almost gave me a heart attack. I did expect to die because I didn't have any armor. But geez, that dude almost killed me for a heart attack. Now we're on the rooftops, and we're gonna fight this guy right here, which is the Witch Hunter. And just look at those skills on popping the potions with his arrows. And he's just gonna run away. So yeah, that is one of his only moves, is crossbow. Yeah, that sword is really overpowered. I love this sword, and I'm just gonna destroy all of you. Vengeance. And okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna show you what these marks are later on in the showcase. Also, if you haven't noticed, some of these are actually the boss versions of the normal mobs. So here we have the boss version of the Witch Hunter, and the purple guy down there was the boss version of the Spellbreaker. And yeah, they just have such cool walking animations, especially the Witch Hunter. Our next faction headquarters is the Fairy Glade, and this is the faction headquarters for the Fairy Court. And yes, you'll see that there's only one chest in here, and there is a Codex Arcana there. And now I'm gonna make it nighttime, so the faction mobs have started spawning in. And here we have our first dude, and he's the adorable mushroom soldier. And just look at how cute this thing looks. And it looks so helpless, but it's really not. It almost killed me. And now I think I saw one of the other faction members here. So here we have the pixie, and it's gonna start shooting lightning at us. And it's just a tiny light bulb, and yeah, it does make some scary noises when it tries to teleport away. You're not gonna get away from me, dude. You gotta be kidding me. And you just get out of my way. So we have finally caught up to it, and I'm gonna destroy you. And here we go, we finally destroyed it. And like with the Cons of the Wizards, we got a mark, and this is the mark of the Fae. Our next faction headquarters is the Demon Fortress, and this is part of the Demons of the Nether. And I see a fight over there. Yeah, I forgot to mention this. The factions will fight each other, and the demons completely annihilated that guy. Anyway, let's just continue on, and just look at how hardcore this place looks. It looks so awesome. And now we're just gonna go inside, and it does have a face. I just noticed that. I didn't know it had one. And now let's walk in here, and in here it will just be a spawner and some fire. And this dude right here, just look at how evil he looks. And we're gonna fight him in a bit, and I'm gonna fight him in another one of these, because the other one is much more closed off, and it looks much more epic than this one, which was out in the open. And now let's go over here where the chest is. So here we have our first chest. Not that good in here, and we're just gonna go up to the next level, which should be through here. And now here we have everything. So we just have an obsidian armor torso, and yeah, that's really not that great. But now let's go to the other one to fight everything. So here we are at the other demon fortress I was talking about, and this one is in the Crimson Forest. And doesn't it look much more epic like this? Although I didn't show it because yeah, it's kind of stabbed into the nether roof. I know it's gonna be harder to show off the building, but anyway, let's start fighting things. So let's try to go back. And yes, I kind of did this already, but I kind of failed the first attempt. So now we're just gonna go into survival and make it not peaceful. So we're gonna send it to easy. And now we're just gonna barge in and try to destroy everything. So these guys are the Lantern Wraiths, and all they do is just give you a bunch of debuffs. But first, let's kill this demon right here. And you can see that I can't even shoot. So yeah, that is absolutely terrifying. So now we're just gonna kill this guy and destroy the spawner. So far it keeps destroying us, and the guy's just still gonna be there. So I don't know why he's not. Okay, here we go. So he is attacking, and now he's absorbing my soul. So I'm just gonna shoot him down. And oh yeah, I didn't have any arrows. I'll be right back. So now we can defend ourselves. And here we go. So yeah, that was embarrassing. And by the way, they do give you the marks of the nether. And now let's move on to the next faction. So here we have our last faction headquarters. And this is the Undead Crypt. And it's for the Legion of the Undead. And this place is a little bit small. And there is a spawner in here, but it won't work because it's underwater. And it also has a bunch of light sources. But I think the water has nothing to do with it, so let's just cover him back up. And there's a few things that you should know. So earlier on, I did tell you that it wouldn't be in the faction section, but you can actually find it by finding its ritual. So here we have the ritual of the Cold Dark, and I'm gonna teach you about this faction because it is very different from all of the other factions. So here, I'll even tell you that there's a warning that it's just much more difficult. So that's what I'm going to show you. And by the way, these guys will spawn in the nether, and they will also spawn in the overworld at night, which I'm about to show you. So there we have our first undead faction member, and that is the Hulking Zombie. And just look at how terrifying that dude is. Oh my god, it installs fear into anyone's soul. And he's just going to try to punch me out of existence. And by the way, I haven't really been showing the boss versions of any of these mobs, and that is because they have different moves, and I just want you guys to get surprised, and it's not like I forgot or something. And now let's actually start hitting this guy with my sword, because yeah, he is getting pretty annoying. You know what, I'm gonna use my insta-kill sword because I just want them to stop existing. And you gotta be kidding me, the other faction member I was gonna show, he just disappeared. You gotta be kidding me. the next undead faction mobs we have are the skeleton assassins. I guess I said assassins because there's another one over there. But just look at those ninja moves. He's just gonna throw some shurikens, and they just look so awesome. And isn't he much more powerful than the hulking zombie? Apparently hulking zombie is all muscle, but he does not know how to fight. And you just see those moves. And you know what? I'm just gonna eat an enchanted golden apple. And you guys are getting loud. Please just stop. Please just stop. So let's just kill this last dude. And by the way, they do have a melee attack, which you probably already saw on the zombie. And here we have the bark of the undead. And you gotta be kidding me. You dare challenge me, immortal? So now let me show you how the Legion of the Undead works. So the first thing I'm gonna obviously do is switch over to the faction. So I'm just gonna set myself to the undead by using some cheats. And now I'm just gonna enter it. And you'll see that my mana bar has now changed to a skeleton. And there's some green goo going through it. And there's a bunch of more numbers than before. So that is in the soul system. And yes, this is how this faction works. So it's based around the soul system, which means that I have to murder my enemies for me to actually get some more souls to actually cast more spells. So let's just do this. I'm gonna burn everything. I'm just gonna keep walking while wasting all of my mana. And now I'm about to commit murder after I'm done, because yes, I need to do my daily killing spree. Oh no, I'm glad that no one is listening to me apart from my brother Jonathan, or else this would get weird. So now, I'm just gonna show you how this works in another way, because I'm gonna show you what you need to do to gain more souls. So this is from least to greatest. So the one that will give you the least is animals, and the one that will give you the most is players. And I told you, see, I told you that this would happen. I had the Ember Girl bracelet. That is my biggest regret. And glad that I am next to Jonathan. And, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And that is one of the great things when you actually die. It just resets it. And oh, yeah, glad it was in the jungle. So now, let me murder Jonathan. So here we are at Jonathan's hotel room. And Jonathan, are you taking a bath inside of the kitchen sink? Alright, I'm gonna kill you here in the kitchen sink. And you can see that I almost got my entire mana bar back. And I'm just gonna kill something else so you guys can see the difference. So let me kill an animal. So let's go in here in the sheep shop. And oh, we have a sheep already in here. So let me kill the household sheep. And here we go. So I just get a little bit more souls. And I'm just gonna keep killing sheep. And see, it barely gives you any souls, because they barely have a soul. Oh no. Now, the final faction structure I wanted to show you is the Wraith Nest. And doesn't this place look hardcore? It is absolutely terrifying, and it is filled to the brim with raids, so I would consider it a raid headquarter, since there isn't the other faction members. You know what? There's one of them, but it doesn't really count because all of the spawners were raids. And here we have a chest with a codex or cobble, and if you haven't noticed, it does go through the nether roof. But according to what I've heard on the Discord server for this mod, this is gonna get fixed, so it is really great news, or probably bad news, depending on if you wanted to go to Nether Roof or not. And if you want to know more about that Discord server, the link is gonna be in the description below. So you may be wondering what all of these marks are for, and they're gonna be used for trading for artifacts from other factions. So yes, you no longer have to worry about not being able to craft the other artifacts. You can just trade with someone called the broker, and you gotta be kidding me. So the broker will be summoned using the Iron Bell ritual, and he accepts the marks as payment, and you also need another artifact to actually get him to trade with you. So now I'm gonna go into the Oculus, and I'm gonna re-explain this a little bit. So earlier on, I did tell you that some of these are unlocked, but some of them are gonna be locked to a faction. So this one is locked to the Undead faction, and this one to the Demon one, and some of the other ones to the Fake Court. And I don't really need to explain this part. So let's see. If I want the Ember Glow bracelet, I can never craft it because I'm in the Ancient Council of Wizards. So I can just trade with this guy, and now let's actually summon him. So like I mentioned earlier, the way you summon the broker is by using this ritual right here, which is the ritual of the Iron Bell. And let's just summon this guy because you guys already know enough about rituals. So let's just place the final piece in. Yes, I'm gonna use this crippled wand right here because I do not discriminate against crippled wands. And just look at the ground. It's just so awesome. And I'm just gonna wait until I have to draw the patterns. Oh, yes, this is great. So here he comes. Here is the broker. And just look at how funny and terrifying this dude looks at the same time. I did not know it was possible to be this beautiful and this frightening at the same time. And he does blind you because apparently it is way too much for your eyes. Just look at how it just goes away the second you stop looking at him. He literally breaks your eyes, and that is absolutely terrifying. Oculus, I see you over there. You look absolutely terrifying. And anyway, let's just trade with him because I've gone on long enough, and you can see that he has a bunch of items in here, and you will actually need another artifact like I've told you before. So just look at the wide variety of things. So I have spotted an item that I want, and it's the Ember Glow bracelet. So let's just grab it by trading with him. And here we have it. And did you just hear that voice? I didn't hear it the first time, but it is absolutely terrifying, dude. What is wrong with you? And by the way, one thing that you have to keep in mind is this guy will only stay for half a Minecraft day. So you should be very prepared to trade with this guy, or else you'll have to do the ritual again. And that is pretty much it for this derpy, terrifying dude. And if you're curious about this, what the Ember Glow bracelet does is protect you against everything related to fire. So I can walk through fire like a boss, walk through magma blocks like a boss, and even swim in lava like a boss. And unlike the fire resistance potion, at least it doesn't have the annoying fire in front of you. And I just realized this is mana base, so it's about to run out. And oh no, I have to get back. Okay, you know what? I'm not dying apparently. I'm just gonna keep swimming. Oh no, I'm starting to die now. And even though it does seem awesome that you can get artifacts from other factions, there are consequences to using them too much. So for example, here I have the Ember Glow bracelet, which I use to swim in lava, and it belongs to the demons. So if I use it enough, they will be so angry, they come and raid me and try to destroy me. So that means that they just portal to your location and bring their most powerful soldiers. So it is absolutely terrifying when it happens. And I have already made them angry enough by cheating them in, so eventually once it's nighttime, they will actually start coming in and trying to destroy me. And I did set their anger to 100%, so they'll come and destroy me the second I set it to nighttime, because apparently demons and the undead sleep or something. And now let's actually start this. And by the way, I did set myself to tier 5 just to use this right here. So this is the Horn of the Conclave, and this will summon your faction members so they can come and defend you. And now let's just make it nighttime, so time, set, and nighttime. So let's just set it to night. Now here we go. It's gonna be nighttime, and okay, you know what? I think the demons prefer midnight, so let's make it midnight for them. And now they're gonna come out of nowhere. Oh, here we are. Here they are. So they have arrived, and dudes, are you okay? Oh no, they came from the other side too. So here we have all of the faction members, and I'm just gonna use this horn. And please do destroy me. I love getting punched out of existence. What do I sound addicted to pain? Probably. I am not addicted to pain. I'm just kidding. But I do love getting destroyed by mobs in Minecraft. Isn't it just awesome? And I'm just gonna use Horsican's not muscle growth hormone. I don't know what it was. Oh, it is the not muscle growth juice. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep running so they won't kill me. And yes, there will be other faction members that you would usually not meet at all, like that blue guy over there. And oh no, I'm about to die. So here we have had them properly come in. So this time they did blow their horn, and now let me just blow my horn when they allow me to. So here we go. We have summoned them, and isn't that just awesome? Just look at my faction members come and try to defend me, and oh no, I am anchored. But now let's move on to the last part of this faction section. Also, goodbye faction members. I'm just gonna leave, and oh, they do teleport to you. I had no idea so if this is gonna go into the video too. I'm now gonna teach you how to make some awesome structures called the Sanctums. And the Sanctums will make your spells more powerful, so you can build them no matter which faction you're in. So here we have a Sanctum for every single faction, and what this does, it basically makes you cause more damage with your spells, and it also makes buffs last longer. So these are potion effects and other effects, and they will just last longer. And for the Undead, it will give your enemies vulnerable soul, which means that once you kill them, you will get more souls from them. And before you can start building your Sanctum, you will first need to do a ritual. So if you've already started, please destroy your structure, or else you're not going to be able to complete this ritual. And this ritual is the ritual of Sanctum Invocation. So let's just start it, and it should start immediately, so no need to draw shapes. You can just let it happen, and it's gonna happen on its own. So the glowing orbs are gonna eventually draw the line, and they're just gonna start this immediately, and they're gonna replace this block. So if you have diamond or any other precious block, yeah, it's completely gone. I'm sorry if I didn't warn you before. And now you have this new block, and now I will have to clear all of these metal ritual runes. So I highly recommend using the chalk, or else you're gonna have pain like me. Now that that is all cleaned up, it is time for me to teach you how to build a Sanctum. So I'm just gonna open my Codex Arcana. I'm gonna go to the ritual of Sanctum Invocation, and I'm gonna choose the Sanctum for my faction. So I'm gonna choose the Console Sanctum, and you obviously need to choose the Sanctum for your faction. So we have the Console one, we have the Demon one, we have the Fake Court one, and then we have the Undead one. But I'm gonna go to the Console one, and here we have a bunch of blocks, and these blocks are necessary for building this. So we have the Brazier with no tier requirement, we have Soul Sand, we have the Vindium Stone, and you probably already get the point. And now, I'm gonna click on this new thing right here, which is Visualize Multi-Block and World, and I'm just gonna poke the eye, and here we have a ghost that will follow us no matter where we face, and the center of the ghost is always gonna be on the block you're staring at. So here I am staring at this block, and I'm just gonna right-click right here, and once I exit the Codex Arcana, the ghost is gonna be right here, and it's not gonna move no matter where I'm looking at. And I'm just gonna place a random block because I want to show you something. So if something is inside the ghost, nothing will happen. You can just break it. And now there is another method that I wanted to show you. So what I'm gonna do is just click on the clear visualize multi-block right here, which is the tiny house that is blocked by my arm. So I'm just gonna left click on it, and it should just get rid of everything. And you may be wondering, why did I get rid of everything? And that is because if you click on the block that you created during the ritual, it will actually create the ghost for you, and you don't even have to worry about lining it or anything. And now there is one more thing, and that is you can actually show the entire structure at once. If you click on this button right here, which says toggle multi-block visualization, so once you left click on it, it should show you the entire structure. And sometimes this is helpful for stages like this one, where this needs to be hanging. But yeah, if you don't know that there's blocks up here, it's gonna probably be very painful. And that is pretty much it for building this. So all you have to do is just follow the ghost's instructions. So I'm just gonna put it back to one layer, and you just place the block, and you'll see the progress right there. So yeah, I don't really need to teach you this, so I'm just gonna do a small bit, and I'll be right back. Just one more block for this layer, and then we get the second layer. And this is something the Codex Arcana didn't tell you, but you will need some metal ritual runes for some of these. So I'm just gonna place them, and for this one specifically, you will need 12 of them. So let's just place all of them, and then just place these blocks right here, and it'll move on to the next layer. So I'm just gonna build it all the way to the top, and then I'll come back once it's almost complete. And the last step is to literally just commit arson and set these on fire. So this last one should complete it. So here we go. We have a message that we have completed the Sanctum, and after a few seconds, you will get an effect called the Allied Sanctum effect, and this time it did realize that I exist. So here we have the Allied Sanctum effect, which makes your spells more powerful like I explained earlier. And this looks like it's gonna count down completely, but don't worry, it will renew itself. And the range is like 37 blocks. So this is where I've calculated that it just stops working. Now, I'm gonna show you a few awesome magical items that I thought were really interesting, and all of them should be here in the Artifice section. So we're just gonna place this right here, which is the Arcade Sentry, and we're just gonna place like 3 of them, and they're gonna be laying right here, and what they need to be fueled is this Purified Vindictus. So we're just gonna put it in here, and here we can choose if we don't want to target players, or if we want to target players and destroy them. But you know what, I'm just gonna put to not target players, and we're just gonna fill all of these up. So let's fill this last one up. Let's place a zombie over here. The zombie's gonna try to go to villager, but these books are gonna try to defend him. Wait, they're actually killing him. Oh no, they failed their task, but at least they're gonna kill the zombie, and mission has been failed successfully. Next we have the bubble boat and the brimstone boat, and don't worry, even though they look weird, they're much better than normal boats. And now I'm just gonna go to the bottom of the pool and place this down here, and as you can see, it's gonna start sinking like a rock. And you may be saying, wow, this is probably the worst boat to ever exist. And don't worry, once you right click in it and just get in, it's gonna literally just yeet you out of the water, and then you can just use it like a normal boat. And even if you do get out, it will stay there like a good boy. And now I'm just gonna get back in to show you something else. So this boat can climb. Just look at it, just climbed out of the water. And now I'm gonna start climbing stairs. So yes, this is probably the weirdest thing you can do with a boat. But since it's rolling, it's gonna roll over. And now we're just gonna eat ourselves back into the water. And this is just so amazing. And here we have the brimstone boat, which is the upgraded version of the bubble boat. And you may be wondering why I'm in the nether. And that's because this bubble boat will disintegrate in lava. But once we place the brimstone boat, it will resist the lava and it won't die. So let's just get into it. And even though we're gonna start burning, it's gonna stop us from burning eventually. And now you can just go across the lava oceans into the nether. And just look at me, it's just so awesome. Although yeah, I am still on fire, and the cape just makes it look cooler. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, yep, it does have the exact same features as the bubble boat, except the fireproofness. Now I'm gonna finally show you some of the upgrades for the Rune Forge, and we're gonna turn this Rune Forge into a Brimstone Rune Forge by upgrading it with this right here. So we're just gonna right click with it, and it's gonna set on fire, and now it is superior in every way possible. And yeah, that was the Brimstone Charm. And by the way, all of the upgrades are gonna be over here in the Artifice section still, but it's just gonna be under another section, which is like the Rune Forge section. And now let's actually place another Rune Forge so we can make them race. And this one is obviously gonna be done first, but the other one is gonna take its sweet time. So here we go. It is finished because it is superior than this one right here, which is gonna take forever. I'm now gonna show you the upgrades I was talking about in the last section. So we're just gonna go to Artifice, and here we have the Chamarite upgrades. So we use red, yellow, or orange, it will apply the ore doubling effect. And if we use white, cyan, blue, or light blue, it will cause the Rune Forge to repair items. And now let's actually do this. So we're just gonna place 2 of these pedestals right here. And now we're just gonna place some yellow Chamarite crystals. We're just gonna right click, don't shift and right click. And now they're ready. And we're just gonna put something in the Rune Forge, and you can see they're on fire. Just look at how cool this looks. And now it's done. And we're gonna grab it, and we have 2 iron ingots. It is so awesome. And now I'll be placing the light blue Chamarite crystals to show you the last upgrade. So we're just gonna stick this pickaxe in here that's about to die. We're gonna put it in there. It's gonna be on fire. It's gonna have magic going through it. And once we pick it up, it's brand new, and it has been completely repaired, which is the most insanely overpowered thing. Imagine this with netherite. You know what? Let me actually test it with netherite. So we're just gonna put this netherite chest plate that has protection 5, and it's almost dead. Don't ask me how I actually got it to this point, but it's gonna slowly be repaired, and in about a minute it's gonna be ready. Alright, so the Rune Forge is done, and we're just gonna grab the chest plate, and it is completely new. So this thing is gonna probably be the best thing that you can invest in. It's just so overpowered. And here is the final random magical object I wanted to show you, and it is the transitory tunnel, and it is pretty cool. So we're just gonna right click over here, and we're just gonna go straight through the blocks, and you can go through these blocks as many times as you want, and after a while it will return back to normal. So it'll start blinking a little bit faster and faster faster until it is a solid block again, and it can affect any block and also more blocks to death. So we're just gonna go down here and we're just gonna open the tunnel into a secret room. And first, before I actually open the tunnel to a secret room, you can change the angle of how this works. So we're just gonna do this, and as you can see, it just makes an angled tunnel. But now let's wait for it to go back to normal, and it has gone back to normal. And now we're just gonna right click while looking ahead, and here we have a secret room with absolutely nothing in it. So yep, that is probably the most disappointing thing you've ever seen. And even though it's extremely obvious what's gonna happen, I'm just gonna stay in here and start to suffocate. And you know what, I'm gonna use the transitory tunnel, and whoa. So yeah, I can't save you even if you're already stuck in the block. So this is probably good for mining once gravel randomly decides to try and kill you. You know what, I think it's time to get ready for the outro, and whoa, that looks absolutely awesome. And wait, are those demons coming through? And wait, is that a demon faction Sanctum? Oh no, please don't tell me you gotta be getting Horsican. What the heck happened to you? You look absolutely terrifying. Did you join the demon faction or something?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that is terrifying, Horsican. But you know what? I've told you already. Just stop making friends with evil entities. Oh no, I just have no words.
Sorry, their power was really tempting, and I really wanted to study them.
Horsican, that doesn't seem like a good reason, but still, I'm just gonna take you to church later.
Alright, almost done with my research anyway.
Good, Horsican. I'm just gonna go do the outro. I have no idea what's wrong with him, guys. I'm sorry. So that was it for this mod showcase. It's taken me so long to do this, and I think I'm gonna take a break from such long showcases in the future until further notice. It's just gonna be a few months where I'm just gonna do shorter showcases. But it was a lot of fun covering all of this. It's one of the most fun magic mods I've ever seen. But anyway, I'm just gonna stop talking. And oh yeah, in case you were wondering why I've been taking so long and getting videos out, that is because I've been taking video editing classes, and yep, I've been editing a lot of videos apart from this one, and those are a little bit more important and still worth the grade. But anyway, don't forget to burn that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you happen to be enjoying my content. Let's try to get to 30 likes on this video, or else the factions are gonna come after you. Actually, you know what? They're gonna go after you so they can help you. Yeah, I'm not gonna be threatening this time, and see you all later. Bye!